Successful Minds with Patricia Baronowski-Schneider, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Successful Minds with Patricia Baronowski-Schneider is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Patricia Baronowski-Schneider.
Hello and welcome back to Successful Minds. I'm your host, Patty Baronowski-Schneider, CEO of Pristine Advisors. Today I'm joined by Joel Wolh. He's the co-founder of a social media platform, Bizfluence. Our topic today focuses on social media networking. So thanks for joining us, Joel.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you hosting this.
No, my pleasure. Now tell me, what strategies do you use to grow your social media network?
So as a founder of a social media, if this is video, I guess you can see my finger quotes when I say social media, but as a founder of a social media platform, it's a very, very loaded question because my mission in life with Bizfluence, which is the company that I co-founded 2 years ago, and we're really just getting started, my mission is to really change up social media, at least as it pertains to business. And I think social media has been failing most business people certainly for the last few years,
Right.
Since Facebook stock kind of like got a lot of weaker, and LinkedIn turned into another Instagram of people posing and doing their thing, content, influencers. So what's happening is most of your audience and most of the world are not influencers, and maybe they want to be influencers. But they don't even try, which means that 99% of people out there are not listening to Gary Vee and creating 99 pieces of content every day. They're just normal people going about their normal job, and they would love to do more business. 99% of us are not doing millions of dollars a year. We're not managing dozens and dozens of employees. We don't have large companies. We're either freelancers or we have a small company, partnership, whatever. We're trying to get out there. The biggest challenge every single business owner, freelancer, professional has is getting more money.
Right.
Make more money. And social media at this point, unless you're incredibly, you have an incredible aptitude for it, you're an incredible creator, or any one of the talents that's needed to succeed on social media. And trust me, you need talent. You don't need strategy. You need real talent. Social media is a game. Who's the best looking? Who's the best talker? Who's the best editor? Who can come up with the most creative viral videos? That is the game. Don't try to compete. And I have no advice for content creation, but I could tell you is that is what we're fighting, and we're creating a platform that helps you, empower you to network with other people based on what community you're part of, based on what industry you're part of, based on the geographical location that you're in. And Patricia, I mean, you might be familiar that Bizfluence is always iterating, we're always adding things, and that's the direction that we're headed in, where maybe you're a podcaster, maybe you want to connect with more podcasters, maybe you want to connect with more guests. Easiest way to do that is not by posting a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram or on TikTok, because you're just spitting into an ocean. Is that a real phrase? I like
it's
it.
your phrase now.
Spitting into an ocean. Isn't that great though?
No, it was. I got great visual. It makes total sense.
Okay, you can quote me on that. I'm gonna quote me on that. So it's got to be a phrase. I'm gonna Google it afterwards. Hey Siri.
Yeah, right.
So oh, she's responding. Is spitting into an ocean a real phrase? Anyway, point is that we're changing social media as it pertains to business into a real proper networking, community building, business building tool. And I think that that is what's needed today.
Yeah. Well, I like how you have a lot of people on there that help and interact because, just prime example, I had an issue today on LinkedIn and I literally spent 6 hours there's no customer service anymore. It's all done through automation and all they do is keep making me go round in circles. They keep giving me a link that brings me back to a page that I can't access if I can't log in, but I had one or two questions on Bizfluence and, people right away all just chimed in to help. So it's real people and they're all networking and trying to help. And they'll, if I have a question, say, okay, well, I have this message. Where do I post that? People will tell me exactly where to do it, how to do it, what to tag. So,
And it's yeah, and it will take time to scale and to get more people on. But like I posted on LinkedIn because I leverage it because I actually am a content creator.
Mhm.
I am good at it. Okay. But I also recognize that even myself, who I'm good at it, it's it's a full-time job if you want to be a real content creator. Like
Right.
literally a full-time job. You can't do two things. You
Mhm.
can't be a business owner and put out 99 pieces of content a day. It's BS.
Right.
It works for Gary V, but he's like I always say, like you cannot learn from the greats. Like you cannot learn from Elon Musk. There's literally zero that you can learn from Elon Musk. Now, if you're super perceptive and you're a super student, you're gonna try to take something, right? You should try to learn from Elon Musk. You should try to learn from Bill Gates, but you can't. They're superhumans in a sense, whether they're super lucky, super intelligent, super gifted, super whatever. They've got something that there's a reason why there's such a short list of these billionaires. So, but um, we could do what we could do. We could lean into our own strengths. So I went off topic because you asked me something.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
just said
sure.
how the people all chime in and help and
Yeah. So what I like comparing it to. So I posted on LinkedIn. I always compare this because I posted on LinkedIn yesterday. Um, I do a little fundraising for different different things. Okay, different charities and stuff on the side, and um, I posted about a certain project on LinkedIn. We got 3,000 views. And the intention of it at the end, it says, we do this on my WhatsApp status, which is kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with WhatsApp status.
yeah.
Okay. Right. So for those that aren't, it's like stories on Instagram or other social media, but a lot of people don't use it. A lot of people don't use WhatsApp period in the United States. The Jewish community uses it a lot for some reason. I'm not sure why. In any case, on there, I have 200 some odd people. And every time I post something, I get crazy responses. I raise a ton of money. I do business. I help people. They help me. Hey, I need an electrician. Anyone knows within 10 minutes, I have 17 leads. I'm
Nice.
not exaggerating. So I'm like, I don't get it. I just posted something. I got 3,000 views and I said, hey, if you want to, join and help us in this mission, like everyone's so inspired by the post that I did,
Right.
right? Not one person. Not one person out of 3,000. So, oh, I got 3,000 views. Therefore, what? So it's literally a full-time job because, yeah, if I post 10 times 3,000, I get 30,000. Maybe I'll convert two people on WhatsApp. I get 200 people and I get everything I need. I can literally, I'm like 3 degrees away from the president just
Wow.
because my network, right?
Right.
I think we all are. Like, I know someone who knows, Joe Biden's daughter,
Right.
right? It's always that connection. One of my people knows someone who's Elon Musk's best friend's daughter-in-law, right?
Okay.
And it's true, right? And he's trying to connect. He's trying to connect us that way. So so what my point is, this is what's needed. And that organic type of networking, which it truly is organic, like it's no tool in the world can help that. It has to be part tool and part like art.
Right.
So so what we feel is that there are kind of like two types of social media, especially when it comes to business, right? There is um the LinkedIn where it's like very social. Don't get me wrong, LinkedIn will work for HR, for jobs, for that stuff.
Right.
But that's a side thing. I'm not referring to headhunting.
Mhm.
Um, and then there are some tools um like Lunch Club and Swiper and Striper, like Hyper. Not even sure what it's called. There are different tools
Right.
which are more technical, and they're like, oh, you have to check in once a week, and they match you up with someone, and you swipe right, and it's just too technical. It's software. It's great, but it doesn't draw you in. It's not community. It's,
Mhm.
you know, AI telling you who's good to meet. Okay, great, but then it doesn't draw you in. So we think the best case scenario is to just imitate real life. So Patricia met me on this podcast, and now she may have a referral for me. I may have a referral for her. We're tied in through doing a podcast with parents. That's like a level one trust. Level two trust is if Patricia and I did a podcast and then we did business together on the platform. Oh, level two. Level now, people who know you or people who know, they say, oh, so I can trust Joel because Patricia has this level two trust and verification. Not only that, we're both in the podcasters hub, and we both are looking for guests for our podcasts, or we both are podcast producers, and or we sell equipment for podcasts.
Right.
Whatever that may be, it's community based, and you build in some peer reviewed trust uh, um, features.
Right.
And that is where there's real verification. That is where there's real trust. Not like, oh, I bought a blue check, or oh, someone recommended me. It has to be something, mean something. And that's why if I have 200 people on WhatsApp and I know, and each person actually I have to save on my phone. And how do I know them? Because this one is related to my brother's wife's sister, right? That
Right.
one met me at an event,
Mhm.
and that is how. And then we slowly talk and get to know each other, and now we're in, let's say, Joel's community. I'm using finger quotes a lot because I don't want people to think
It's
that
all
I'm
good.
referring to myself in the third person.
Right.
But we built like a community there, right? And I think that is how. And I do a lot of events. We can talk about events. I think that's a fun topic. Same thing where you bring people together
Right.
and people are connected to another, whether they're from the same community, whether they're in the same industry, same interests, or whatever. And that is real. And when people meet each other, they don't shout like pitches at one another like you
Right.
see on LinkedIn, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm a computer IT consultant. I can help you save the blah blah. I checked out your website." No, it's like, "Hi, how you doing? Oh, oh, well, you know him too. Oh, I met her." And then you build relationships, and you might not do any business until you meet at the third event.
Right.
And that is how people can actually connect with people for real and do business for real and use social media effectively as a real, proper, powerful tool in their toolbox.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. So now, how do you use social media to engage with your community?
So once you actually have a real tool,
Mm.
right? So whether it's like I said, I use my WhatsApp status. Maybe someone has a really powerful Facebook group, or maybe Bizfluence is working for you already, even though we're still building. We're still working on those tools for you. One of the things actually we're doing is trying to bring in complete communities,
Mhm.
like a Middle Eastern technology network that actually exists, right?
Right.
And bring them on. So, but short of that, go to a small community, a small hub, a small network somewhere, and focus on 100 people versus focusing on 1 million people,
Right.
right? Because if you spit into a cup, gross, but it's noticeable.
No, but quality over quantity for sure.
100%. And I used to argue with it, but I realized the reason I was arguing with that is because I had an agenda. I was a content creator. I wanted to get 1 million views a day, and well, I managed to get a couple 100,000 views every single day, and of course, it doesn't work for everybody. If it
Right.
did, who'd be the ones viewing? Like, I don't view content. Like, people ask me, how do you have so much time to, like, I post on WhatsApp like 30 times a day. I'm like, how do you have time? You're the one watching me. I'm not watching you.
Yeah.
I'm just posting, right? But most people, they can't. So then focus, find a small niche community. Don't stop getting lost with social media. Stop browsing TikTok. Stop trying to be like the next whoever, Mr. Beast. You won't be Mr. Beast. And if you will be, you will be. My pep talk isn't going to change anything,
Right. I hear
right?
you. So now, how do you measure the success of Bizfluence?
Um, like, I can be very virtuous and say that we'll measure the success by business done and everything. But for now, it's just about scaling and engagement, you know. So if right now my next barometer or my next measure on the barometer is hitting 100,000 users, you know, bringing in a community of 50,000 users or 100 or a million, and we're talking to 4 or 5 different communities right now that we'd like to build, you know, a hub for them, bring them in, and I think that'll be success, because even if it doesn't change the whole of Bizfluence, and even if they don't exit their hub and they just stick within their vertical on Bizfluence, there will be massive amounts of activity. That's, you know, first step of success. And then, you know, as we grow and scale and get millions of users and raise money, and people start doing a lot of work with each other. And I mean, every time I get a message saying, hey, I met someone on Bizfluence and we, you know, they hired me or I hired them, you know, that is success. But ultimately, um, like, for me, this exists only at scale. If you have 20,000 users and they're not all active and they're not all engaging with one another, then it's just going to end up fizzling out. So we have to keep on scaling exponentially.
Right. Okay. Now, what tips would you offer to new social media network creators?
Um, it's hard for me because I feel like I'm very authentic, meaning I feel like it. Maybe I'm not, right? Maybe subconsciously I'm not, but consciously I feel like I'm very authentic, and I just cannot stand like self promoters. I cannot. So, but it works. Like, the biggest, like, most famous people are self promoters. I think there may be a little bit of a tide shifting there. I think people are connecting more with authenticity these days. But you'll still, so I would say go either way. Like, if you're a faker, go fake away. It works.
Well, nowadays
Plenty
with
of,
avatars, and you just plug in a couple keywords and it'll do it for you. It's not even you.
yeah, plenty. Exactly. Chat GPT will do whatever you want. Incredible tool, right? But fake your way. You have to be true to yourself. I have a close friend who's a song artist, singer, whatever, and he just came out with a music video that in collaboration with other artists. And I texted him, I'm like, listen, I can be like everyone else and tell you it's great and boost your ego up, and no one will ever tell you anything. And he's fairly young. He's probably still in his 20s maybe. And then you're just gonna end up like a big, you know what, with an ego, and you're not gonna be putting out the best stuff. I said, this is not you. You're not being true to yourself. This was a mistake, and happy to serve as a free advisor for the future. But I said, no one's gonna tell you that. Everyone's gonna tell you it's great, but it's not. It's not your style. It's not your tone. It's not your music. It's not like, you shouldn't be dressing up, and it's not you.
Yeah.
Like, picture Michael Bublé doing like a Shakira like collab. It's not.
Right.
So that, you know, so, and I think it's important. Look, you know, do you want to succeed just financially? Okay, do anything. But if you want to succeed and sleep well at night, stay true to yourself. Go organic. Get to know people one by one by one by one.
Yeah.
You get to know 10 people, that'll become 100, and it doesn't have to go to 100,000. It can go to 200. Your network can be, you know, 200 people, but it's strong. Don't waste time. When people just string you along, like, I've had it. I've had it where, like, successful people or people I thought are successful. Oh, Joe, I love what you're doing. And then there's a call and another phone call and messages. I'm doing this project, that project, and it's like 6 months later, like where's this going? Like,
Yeah. They just want
what
free
is this?
advice.
I delete. Not even like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like some people just are time wasters.
Yeah.
They're just time wasters. And you're going to have that if you go out there and you try to build social media, you try to build a network, you're just going to meet a lot of people that they're not productive people. Like 90% of people are just not productive. They waste your time.
Well, it's funny,
So,
like even with, say, LinkedIn, for example, I had so many people in the past that would connect with me, and I'm always like, okay, I'll connect, whatever.
of course.
But then it comes time to like Christmas, I send out a generic message to all my connections saying, hey, just want to wish everybody a happy and healthy Christmas. And then all of a sudden I'm getting these responses like, stop spamming me. I'm like, you connected with me. You don't even know who I am. Like, what was the whole point of that? So they unconnect me.
I ask everyone that connects with me on LinkedIn, I say, okay. And I'm like, oh, wow, I like your content. Okay. You realize, though, that you like my content. I don't like yours. I don't know who you are. So when I connect with you, your content is going to flood my feed. The whole system is broken, which is one of the biggest things that we're trying to change on Bizfluence is you need to choose whose content you want to see. I mean, you could filter now and do all that now, but we want to build an organic process that like when you connect, depending on how you connect, connection really is an affirmation. It's not a connection the way it should be. It should be an affirmation. Now, Patricia and I are connected. We did a podcast. We spoke to one another. We clicked. We're affirming our connection. Our connection happens when it happens, not when you click connect, because now what? Okay, connect. Okay, now you can spam me with messages. It makes no sense. It's a broken system. And most of social media works that way. Like someone in venture capital connects with me on follows me on Twitter or something, right? Or so, hey, I want them to give me money, right? Hey, they don't answer. Like, the whole point is like it's just it's just broken.
Yeah.
So the only way really to get out there and to accomplish stuff on social media to build a small trusted network. That's again, you're not Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast announces a new burger store, and he's got 10,000 fans clogging up the building, sleeping over at night. But we're not him. Like I'll announce a burger shop and I'll get 3 people to come.
Now, what do you think sets your platform apart from other similar networks?
That. Yeah. All of that. We want to build trusted networks so people can really accomplish something on social media, not waste their time. Like back when I was posting a lot on LinkedIn and getting like crazy amount of views, I used to look at the metrics and like half of my viewers were like working at EY and these other like giant accounting firms. And I was thinking about it, like when they log their computer logs, because I'm sure a lot of these giant companies, they want to see what you're doing. Oh, they were like on business networking, because that's how it's categorized, right? And it's like, no, you're just wasting your time. So stop wasting your time. Get productive.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you've got good content, and maybe you're even good with the fake stories, like the sob stories, or like there was this guy, right? Since I went back on LinkedIn, I started getting 10x spam in my mailbox. Literally, they scrape LinkedIn for your data, and they get your email. I don't know what they do, right? They do some kind of scraping action, and I got an email, right? So I started posting my emails. I started like when I get really pissed off, or if there's no unsubscribe, if there's an unsubscribe, whatever. Right. Which what happens? I think when you unsubscribe, you're confirming it's a real email address. Now they just keep spamming you.
Right.
But I unsubscribe. Okay, fine, whatever. You scraped my email, but at least you had the decency to include it, right? Those that don't include an unsubscribe, and especially I've watched them, if they send me a second, hey, bumping this up, Joel, and they do like a clickbait subject line, I look if they have I've done this 4 times. Did one today. You can check it out. It's a lot of fun. I check if they have a LinkedIn account, because some of them are just like bots, right? Yeah. So if I find it, I did it today. I screenshotted the email, and I tagged the person and his company, and I'm like, stop spamming me. Why are you spamming me?
Right.
So a lot of people answered, no, it's legitimate sales. I'm like, where do you get my email from? We sales. Like sales, if I sign up for your email newsletter, like I send that, I have an email newsletter, and people either they signed up for it or they did business with me, right? They came to our events, right? Forget Bizfluence because that's kind of normal, but people unsubscribe too, right? But I do events. I did one last week for 900 people. I'm doing one next week for hopefully 5+ hundred people. You sign up for an event. I mean, it's kind of standard procedure that someone's going to email you before or after,
Right.
schedule this, that. And there are people that get like ticked off and they want to unsubscribe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go ahead, remove the email or unsubscribe option, depending on how I email them. But you can't just cold spam someone, buy an email list, and like you can't do that. It's wrong. So this guy says, so then someone says, well, his last post got 20,000 likes. I don't think he's a spam. Oh, I go to his last post. My girlfriend went to travel all the way to Paris to apply for a job at Louis Vuitton. She got rejected. I swear the story never happened. Give me a Bible, Koran, whatever. This story never happened.
Right.
Okay. He got 20,000 likes. I'm like, exactly. It's a spam post on this giant LinkedIn scam machine. Leave me alone. And the guy's like, oh, what are you talking about? This is spam. It's a real story. I'm like, where did you get my email? There's an answer, right? So that's what we're dealing with social media. Now, here's my point. If you're really good at writing those fake stories, and maybe your dream job is to be a marketer for, Patricia is not so good at writing those stories. So I'm gonna post those stories, get 20,000 likes, which equals to like 10 million views. And when someone reaches out to me, hey, you want to do marketing for me? Patricia wants me to write like fake stories for her. Sure. And then I make money. Okay, I get it. You're a scammer for hire.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it is nowadays, though. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so if you feel comfortable doing that, do that. But if you don't feel comfortable, stick to 10, 20, 30 people and work that network.
Yeah, for sure. Quality over quantity.
Every time. And I have to say this. I used to doubt this, and I used to be like, I always preferred quality over quantity, but I would doubt the effect of it. I would doubt the success, the long tail success of an authentic strategy. And with the nice guys finish last thing, and I was like, I was always very, because there were people that I was kind of competing with in the content space or the public speaker space, which I also have come to despise. I do my own events. I'll only get on stage if we need to fill in. So, or I like doing panels that I moderate because I have a lot of fun getting people like to discuss, but I will not give a speech. I will not get up on stage. I can't stand it. I can't.
How do you really feel?
By the way, and by the way, every time, well, you don't want a vanilla podcast. You want people to say, oh my, I listened to this podcast. I don't know who this guy is, but maybe you should listen to this. At our last event, we had an MC, a very nice fellow, and he says, Joel, what's going on? These people, they don't want to leave the stage. Like, I tell them, like, that's it, it's time, and they just don't want to leave. And it's like, that's how it is with speakers. But I got lost again. I don't even know where I was going. You just have to, the nice guys finished last. So I was competing with people, and I saw like the fakers like move ahead. Like I was got 10,000 followers. They have 100,000, 200,000. It really bothered me. And then and now that I've been just in the trenches for the last 2.5 years, just building, and slowly I'm starting to see like real high level success, hopefully. And I realized that nice guys do finish last. They do, but they finish, and they finish on top.
Yeah.
And I think this the hare and the tortoise or whatever, right? It's true. Like the tortoise will take a long time, but they'll get there, and she will win the race. So I would encourage anyone that's listening to keep on plugging. Don't stop. You have to be unstoppable. If you're not unstoppable, you will not get anywhere.
Yeah.
And again, 99% of people are not unstoppable, but you could be. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
There's no secret sauce. Like every day, go out there and do the max that you can, and you'll get it. You'll win it. Being authentic, being true to yourself and to your ideas and to your culture and social norms or whatever it is that you're true to.
Yeah, for sure. Now, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in the social media space?
So it's an interesting question to me again, right? But I flip everything over because that's what I'm doing in this space. But I will tell you that I do, read a lot and watch a lot of what's happening. Um, and again, I mean, the proliferation of news social media sites specifically. I mean, technology is very different because there are some tools that are new tools and new softwares and new technology that just keeps on coming out and they're just game changers. And but when it comes to social media specifically, um, the proliferation of all that stuff doesn't help anybody. It's just more and more and more, and it's just more of the same. Because at the at the core of it, it's all just, hey, let's be an influencer. Like if you read about new social media platforms or new ideas that the current social media platforms have, it's all about rewarding influencers and paying them and then there's nothing there. There's nothing at its core. So I think new social, it's all irrelevant. The relevant ones will float to the top. I mean, if you are actually a social media influencer, you must be using TikTok, and you can be getting millions and millions of views there. And that's a new one, right? Or well, clearly in compared to everything else. But you don't have to be there the first one. You can start today and still be successful. And then, technology is just ever changing. And it's like we at Bizfluence, because we want to build something that's truly, cutting edge, we keep on, keep on watching what's coming out. And something like GPT by OpenAI is definitely a game changer. It's funny enough, the technology like the AI, like the ability to chat and to immediately answer questions and to formulate responses has been around, for a while. It's almost like Google cataloging search, the way Bing and the way everyone else did. It's kind of the same thing what OpenAI just did. And interesting enough, like 2 years ago, there was a guy, he's still around. He created a platform called LinkedIn, and he just makes fun of LinkedIn. It's just like a fun project. It's cute. It's called LinkedIn, and it's kind of like it kind of works the same way like ChatGPT works. It was like create a humble brag post, and then and then when people comment, you can like instead of high-fiving I don't remember exactly what, you can check it out. It's very cute, and it's like, oh, on the way to work today I picked up a homeless man, and it just creates these posts for you and you can respond to it, and it uses AI, right? That's what it does. But that's definitely interesting, and I think it's going to change how we do things. I created a contract last night in like 5 minutes, a business agreement contract, a partnership contract on this thing. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
I also looked up a theme for an event, and I asked it, and it gave me like 8 themes, and it just crazy stuff. What you can do with technology these days. One of the scary ones is the deep fake ones that I've seen now, which it's like you literally take anyone and make them say or do anything. You're not going to know what's real and what's not real. So that's going to affect social media in a very big way as well.
Well, I actually did an avatar. I think I posted in Bizfluence once. You can actually use your own voice, or you can use an automated voice. So I use my own voice, but it's not me. Like what they do is they take videos of you every which way, and then it makes this avatar. So you put your voice and it'll actually do the talking, and no one believed that it wasn't me. So they were saying that like deep fakes are like, unless you physically see it with your own two eyes, like you don't really know what's real and what's not out there anymore.
And yeah, and it's going to affect politics and any public figure is going to be affected by it. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, sure. So now, what's one big takeaway that you want people to get from this episode?
Well, what I want is people to join Bizfluence, of course. But if you ask me, like unselfishly, like I think just to be true to yourself, be authentic, and when seeking out growth, try to go, like Patricia says, try to go quality over quantity, because not everybody wants to be a social media influencer, and it's not all that it's made out to be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks again for being on the show. Again, that was Joel, the co-founder of Bizfluence. So thanks for listening to Successful Minds with Patty B. Never miss an episode by subscribing to the show. I'll post the link after. And you can also listen via Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So thanks again, Joel, and everyone. Until next time.
Stay real.
Thank you for listening to Successful Minds with your host, Patricia Baronowski-Schneider. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.